So glad to see everybody back. We took last week off. Phil was in the hospital for those. I mean, I contacted all you guys. You want to tell us real quick what happened, Phil?
Yeah, we trained that morning, my wife and I. High intensity workout as usual. Did about 30 minutes of cardio along the promenade, which is along the beach. Went to Costco, which is a place we shop at for food. Got food, went home, cooked. About 2:30 in the afternoon, I went to lay down and we were watching a movie and I felt a funny sensation in my side. I told my wife, well, that was weird. What am I feeling? She said, it's not from the workout for certain. I said, that's weird. 3 hours later, my pain level went from like 1 to 10. Jeez. I told my wife, I said, I think you better call an ambulance. I can't sit in a car seat. And I was on my back. By the time the ambulance came, I was blacking in and out. Oh. So I remember them putting me on the, whatever it's called. What's the word for it?
Stretcher.
The stretcher, taking me out to the ambulance, taking me to the hospital. I was blacking in and out on the way there. When we got there, I woke up, I was in the MRI. And of course, they took the MRI, told me I had, my appendix had ruptured. And here's the funny thing, they told me that I tested positive for COVID. I was telling him that I had 2 vaccinations and a booster. The booster was a few months ago. And still, I said, okay. They said, we're going to do surgery anyway, regardless, because it's an emergency. So they took me in surgery. I guess it would have been either late Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning. And from there, I was 6 days in bed, of course, with all the IV tubes and everything else that you have to have. And man, that was it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah. Now, Phil, did he come home, Phil?
I'm sorry?
Did they keep you in hospital for long, or did he come home?
6 days.
In hospital?
6 days, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, did you have appendicitis, and were you aware of that prior to that?
No, not at all. No indication at all that anything was wrong. It just went like that.
Yeah.
3 hours later, that was the point where she had to call the ambulance. So, kind of weird.
That appendix almost killed me.
Wow, you've had it as well.
So yeah, it's burst in my house, and my mother didn't believe me.
Oh wow!
I said to my mother, I still lived at home, and it was 10. I don't remember, not doing great. So she's like, "Come on, you don't want to go to school. I know you." I almost freaking died. I was also in the hospital for a week. I had to relearn how to walk, as I remember. That's bad.
Wow, that was pretty bad.
So you were a teenager when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I guess that can happen at any age.
Yeah.
I guess age would be irrelevant. It goes.
Now, removing your appendix, that has no effect, right? On your body or anything like that, right?
No.
Yeah.
As far as I say, no. It's an organ that we don't really need. So I don't know why we have it, but we do. But we can function normally without it.
I guess there were some spare parts left. They just threw them in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was it.
I had an interesting weekend.
Oh, that's right. You became a grandfather again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, my daughter had a baby boy on Saturday night.
And how many grandchildren do you have, Ian?
I have 4 now. I have 2 girls and a boy, and then another boy just been born. So they're calling him Bear. His first name is going to be Bear.
Bear?
Bear, like a bear.
Like a bear.
I said, if you have another one, you're going to call it Wolf.
Oh, Bear.
It's a cool name, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different. Definitely different.
Baby Bear is in the house, and big boy, 9 pound, 12 ounce.
Oh wow!
And 22 centimeters long, so he's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
Wow. How many kids do you have, Ian?
I have 2 children. My daughter, my eldest one's a daughter, and I've got my son Matt, who's 21.
They're in England. I mean, they're in the U.S. with you, of course.
Say that again.
Are they in the U.S. as well?
Yeah, we're all here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, my daughter's literally 15 minutes from my house, and she was trying to do a natural home birth, but she was really big. I mean, she got big.
Yeah.
And she was in labor all day, all Friday, and then all day Saturday. And eventually the midwife said, this baby's not coming out by itself. So she went to the hospital and she had an epidural and a C-section. So
Okay. Wow.
we were babysitting the grandkids the whole time. So it was quite an interesting
Yeah.
few days.
She doing okay?
Congratulations.
Worn out.
Everybody doing good? Baby, her, everything?
Yeah, everything's great. Yeah,
Good.
everybody's great.
Good.
All healthy. All the fingers and toes are there, and everything's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Great.
Quite a bit of news. I feel older every time I have another grandkid.
Yeah.
I need to make more money so I can buy them all gifts at Christmas. That's the thing.
There you go. Start saving now.
I am, trust me.
Oh, especially the way prices are right now. Good Lord.
Oh man, everything's going up.
Mm-hmm.
Once things go up, they never really go down again, do they? Have you noticed that?
Very, very true.
Not really.
No.
A sale here and there, but still, those prices always remain the same.
What's
It feels like I'm finally back in Switzerland. It's exactly how it feels.
Right.
I remember when I came here and suddenly I got all this food for $100. You know, I mean, 20 years ago, there was such a nice change to our over expensive country of Switzerland. And now I'm right at it. You know, the gas is still a little cheaper than in Switzerland, but we're getting there. I think it's somewhere close to $8 in Switzerland a gallon. So we're getting to that, you know. So, hey guys, for all you older guys, I have some exciting news. Because I have absolutely nothing going on in my life right now other than working on my app. Monica Brandt just commented on my picture.
Monica,
guys
really?
Monica Brandt, she was an absolute bomb of the 90s guy, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry guys, I got nothing.
It's funny you mentioned Monica Brandt. I met Monica Brandt in 2016. She went over to England and competed in the Nabby Universe. And then she competed in a PCA show over in England. So I actually met her.
Wow. Yeah.
Interesting. She brought her mother along with her.
I tried everything I could during my time to set up kind of a guest posing, you know, when readers send us to pose. So finally it happened, you know. She came to Vienna to pose in a gym where I was also doing a posing. So as she walked in, she had the probably best looking guy I've ever seen on her arm. So I knew right there, this is not going to go well.
Oh, dear.
I don't think she even talked to me that weekend, you know. So, well, 30 years later, she commented on my picture. So we got somewhere.
Better late than never.
Bombshells. Did you hear about Tonya Knight? She's battling cancer right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew Tanya since she was 18. She's from Kansas City, Missouri. That's where I grew up.
Oh, really?
And I met her there in her first competition. I guest posed in her first competition. That was probably back in early 80s. Very early 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard she had cancer.
Speaking of cancer, Tom Prince.
Wow. Yeah.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
huh? 52. Did you guys compete with him?
I did.
You did,
I
JP?
mean, it was my last show. It was I was not really active anymore. He looked unbelievable. He was one of the very few people who impressed me. He placed third at that show, Night of Champions. The guy was absolutely incredible. There were already back then a lot of rumors going around about his craziness, but I don't know if there's any truth to it. And we have some mutual friends. I only had with him one discussion, really. It was a very, very nice one after we both retired. I met him in LA, and he was telling me about how excited he is to be in property management. And we were talking about the value of money comparing during your career or after your career, you know. So I remember we were talking about suddenly when you have $5,000, you have $5,000, you know, and during your career, when you get $5,000, you have to buy this for $1,500, this for $50, you know, at the end, there's nothing left. I remember that he was a very, very nice guy. I mean, it's sad, you know, but he had a lot of health issues, what I heard over many, many years.
Where did he have cancer? Do you know? I know he had the kidney issue and had the transplant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no two. It says he had the kidney issues.
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't really say what type of cancer he had,
Okay.
but I didn't know that he took second to Don Long in '95, and then right the year after that was behind Jay Cutler. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
He took it in 97.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he was one of those few guys. I think I'm included in that list too, who really kind of was having the potential to go all the way, and just couldn't break through for different reasons. You know, I mean, the guy was unbelievable. I remember seeing him at Golds.
Yes.
Was a monster guy, you know, a little bit more back, and his problems a little bit out of the way, and he could have gone all the way. So it's too bad he's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him compete in Long Beach. I don't know what year it was, against Craig Titus. And I believe Craig Titus got his pro card at that show. I'm not sure what if Tom got second to him, but
Oh, that was
that very, very
96. That would have been in 96. If you took second to Craig, Craig won in 96.
that's right. So I was there.
Yeah.
I was there in Long Beach watching that show. I'll remember it very well. If I remember it so well, I remember going to Gold's the day after and talking to Craig Titus. And the whole time I'm talking to him, he's just looking me up and down like this. From the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, just looking at my arms, my legs, and everything. And I'm just like inside giggling. And then look what happens with him.
Yeah.
Man,
Crazy.
that's a whole nother story, right?
That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
I'm never really worried about him. I think he's one of those guys who does just fine where he is, you know.
Probably right, yeah.
It's
You're
true.
probably right.
So,
Well, if he ever gets out, he'll be on a walking stick, that's for sure. Or a
Yeah.
walker. He's in for a number of, well, I think he got 30 some odd years, if I'm not mistaken.
well, his release date is 2062, but his parole hearings start in about 8 years. I mean, they're never going to give him parole, of course. You know,
No, I don't think so.
No.
That was
I'm just happy his ex is out. You know, she was caught in a bad situation, so I'm happy she got another chance. He doesn't deserve one, of course.
He won't get one either, I don't think.
Yeah, that won't happen.
Crazy, man.
yeah.
Let me ask you a question, guys. Oh, this is to all of you. And Jason, with your job, you probably know this better than anybody, but throughout my life, throughout my bodybuilding career and into wrestling, there's so many people that I've like gone on like true crimes or whatever when you're watching these detective things, and you end up seeing these people that you've rubbed shoulders with and known really well. I was watching one a few years ago, and they were talking about this guy that was he was a murderer. He'd shot a police officer in the back of the head in Leeds, my hometown, but he'd lived in Santa Monica. And they found a German guy, Marcus something or other. I remember him well. I've got a picture with him. He was a really good young up-and-coming German bodybuilder. And they found him dead in his apartment with I believe he'd been shot in the head. And it turns out this guy must have been friends with him. They must have been selling gear or whatever. Killed Marcus, then flown to Leeds, my hometown, and shot a police officer in the back of the head. But I kind of digress, but isn't it amazing how many criminals there are involved in bodybuilding or have gone through your lives in bodybuilding? Have you found the same, or is it just me?
Well, sure. Let me ask you this, Ian. Did you ever get to know Bertle?
Who?
Bertle Fox.
Oh, yeah, Bill Fox. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I got to know him very well. Yeah.
It's crazy, like the amount of people I know that even just in gyms, there was a guy in this gym that I worked out. He was the head personal trainer, Tracy, I believe his name was. And the next thing, we're all in the gym and we're watching like live TV, and these police helicopters are chasing this guy. He'd talked his new girlfriend into going and shooting his ex-girlfriend point blank in the head. It's like these people I've worked with and I've known. It's like, man, bodybuilding and wrestling is like surrounded by crazy bastards.
Right.
Yeah, especially I think wrestling they've had it worse than bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I used to wrestle with Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
Right.
I used to drive up to Atlanta and I'd wrestle with Dave Finlay, Dave Taylor, and Chris Benoit and William Regal. I used to wrestle with all those guys and stay up there. And then the next thing you hear about what Chris Benoit did, and it's like, man, it's like everywhere I turn, everybody I know, they're all psychos. I think you're all probably psychos as well. Like you're my friends, so must be the same.
Well, I think it takes a special degree of madness to get into bodybuilding in the first place.
I said that the other day to somebody. Yeah, we're all a little bit detached, aren't we? We're all a little bit hinged. You have to be.
You have to be in this sport.
You have to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's required almost.
Anyway, sorry for digressing the conversation. I just thought it was something that came into my head.
No,
we got this new president of the Swiss Bodybuilding Federation in the late 90s. So he was a regular guy, somehow found his way into bodybuilding, had some money backing. So we had breakfast, and after the breakfast, I took that pill box out and started to a pack of this and a pack of that and 3 of this and 4 of this. And he looked at me, he says, wow. He says, the only people I talk to stuff like that are cancer patients. So, we are a little bit on the crazy side, I would say, and that sport does attract some characters, but it also makes it some very, very interesting. I mean, over the years, people walking into the gyms, especially back in the 80s and 90s, I mean, the stories will never stop. I remember my very, very first day in the gym in Zurich, seeing this guy over on stepping on the scale with 6 grocery bags. And I thought I was 17, 18. I said, what the hell is he doing? He's a big guy. And I said, why are you weighing in the grocery bags? And he's like, that's the food I'm going to eat today. I'm going to weigh it in already. So,
Gosh.
so yeah, we have an interesting, following in that sport. So,
hey, there was a guy in Florida who's very famous. They made a movie of him, No Pain Gain. John Carl Meese. He owned Sun Gym. He was involved with the murder of a couple of guys, I believe. You ever see that movie?
Yeah. Pain and Gain.
No Pain Gain or something like
Pain
that.
and Gain. Yeah.
The Rock and Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg was in it.
Right. And yes, that's right. So I knew John real well. I stayed at his house, and I slept at his gym getting ready for the Chicago Pro.
I saw the movie, and the movie almost looks like a comedy,
Yeah.
So I saw the judge talking about the movie, the judge of the case, and he said, hey, you guys, these guys were as crazy as it shows in the movie. This was no joke. That's like, not Mark Wahlberg and The Rock play in that movie.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, oh, goodness.
Yeah, and it's funny, at the end of the movie, they showed the actual gym. And I remember that so well, because I stayed there for about 2 weeks up until the show. He let me stay in the gym so I wouldn't have to travel back and forth, because I had a car that was raggedy and it just
they did have one great idea. I always thought when I saw the movie, letting all the strippers train for free. I mean, that sounds like a good idea to me.
I actually had a guy that I worked for. He was the owner of the gym. That's what he would do. He would go around to the Hooters and to all the strip clubs and give comp memberships to all of them.
Wow. Well, that brings in guys.
It worked. It brought in tons of guys, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the sport bodybuilding is full of interesting individuals. And when I went to wrestling, like you say, that was like excuse the pun, but bodybuilders on steroids. It was like it took it to a whole nother level of psycho.
Yeah.
I was really good friends. Remember the Bushwhackers?
Yeah.
Well, Luke's a good friend of mine. But remember the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal?
Very well.
Yeah.
Well, Hawk was like one of my closest friends, and I traveled a lot with Hawk and Animal. And they're both not here with us anymore. But I remember going to Vegas with Hawk, and I roomed with Hawk, and he was just completely off the chain. I mean, I remember tackling him and getting him on the bed to try and stop him from going out. He followed through, farted and followed through, and then ended up going out anyway, borrowed Roddy Piper's leather jacket, came home as we were going for breakfast. He was coming in, don't know how, but he was covered in wax, like someone had been dripping wax candles over him, no jacket, and he was hung. He was still drunk. I mean, he'd been drinking all night. and he lost Roddy Piper's jacket that night.
Wow.
It was like a famous jacket. I'll never forget it. It caused a load of heat. But yeah, I spent the whole day on the booth next to the WWE booth with it was a federation called I forgot the name of it now. It was like a rival. It was Jimmy Hart was my manager, and we were in this expo in LA in Vegas, and we were right next to the WWE booth. And it just reminds me of all the crap we've been going through with MPC and PCA. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. You're fighting the monster, you know what I mean? But yeah, I've got some incredible memories of some crazy. Jimmy Snooker was on that tour with us. Greg Valentine, Axor Jim Duggan, just nasty boys. Knobs and Sags were real good friends of mine too. Yeah, I've got some. You're just full of crazies. I mean, just absolute. But like you say, JP, it makes life interesting.
Well, I had no idea about wrestling till I met my wife. My wife is the biggest fan on the planet.
Oh, really?
Really?
She went to her first wrestling event. She's like 4 or 5 years old when her father was managing the Madison Square Garden. So as they walked her in and she had a VIP seat, she just was sitting down. She was like 4 or 5 years old, and they threw a guy out of the ring on top of the table right in front of her. So she was hooked ever since. So she's watching all of that stuff here. That's like an ongoing saga, you know. They're going from event to event, and she watches it every morning. So I hear when I'm still in bed with her.
Wow.
So I went to a few events with her, and you can absolutely not reason with her that is all kind of like, you know, scripted. And I understand they're great athletes who can take a lot of pain. I understand all that, but every reason goes out the window. So we watched this documentary together of Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
So they were talking about that they wanted to kind of have Hulk Hogan turning on Andre the Giant. So they had this press conference, and then Hulk was not able to cry. So Vince told him, hey, just go down, knee down, and put wicks in your eyes, you know, then come up like you're crying, that this is this fallout with Andre the Giant. So he was telling the story, and I looked at my wife, and she looked back at me and she said, but the rest is real.
Oh boy.
You remember the old days in wrestling? You would know this, Ian, where they had the razor blade in like a wrist wrap.
They did that when I was wrestling.
Did you cut
Stop
yourself?
digging. They used to have the tape on the wrist.
Yes.
And they'd have like a scalpel, basically a scalpel head.
Okay.
And they'd get knocked down. They'd pull this and they'd just stick it in the forehead and just like, it's called nicking. You just stick it straight into your skull and just nick it like that. And there'd be blood everywhere.
That's right.
I remember wrestling in Puerto Rico remember Abdullah the Butcher?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I wrestled Abdullah the Butcher, and I was absolutely covered in his blood. I mean, like everywhere, just covered in it. We used to go to Puerto Rico regularly, but some of the pranks that the wrestlers are the masters at pranking. Right? I'm not sure. I'm a little bit over 6 foot, and I'd stand in a lineup with all these guys, and they used to get me every time with it. As soon as somebody was going to take the picture, everybody else would stand on tiptoes. So I looked really short, and I'm like, I'm taller than that guy, but they'd all stand on tiptoes right at the very last second. The timing was brilliant. Some of the things I could tell you about the wrestlers, just absolutely hilarious, great guys. I had some, I don't regret doing it. I gave myself like a short window to succeed in it. And unfortunately for me, I came in right at the same time as Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar was 10 years younger than me. So I kind of had no chance, but yeah, it was very interesting. I remember meeting John Cena at the Staples Center in LA. We'd not been in California long, and he came up to me and shook my hand. He says, "Ian Harrison, it's an honor to meet you." And I'm like, damn. it was because he was a bodybuilding fan. I think he worked behind the reception at Gold's
Gym, yeah.
So, a lot of very interesting people in that game. Very interesting.
I think he worked there for about a week or so. But Ed was telling us a story. You know, we were meeting Ed Connors up in Vegas, and he told my wife sitting with us, and he told us a story how he found him in the car, and then when he worked for a little while in the, I think, supplement store, and what happened, and and my wife totally in awe. So she said she asked Ed, she says, "Hey, do you think I can be a WWE diva?" And of course, Ed wants to be nice, and he's like, "Yeah, you never give up." And so as Ed left, my wife was, "I told you, I could." I said, "Jesus, you're fucking 40 years old. So this is it's like we have cats to feed, so stop it."
Surprised nobody ever asked you, JP, to wrestle.
Yes.
I'm surprised Vince McMahon never hit you up.
Never, and there's no way. I wasn't the most flexible guy, and I had no background in fighting, so no
But
interest.
remember, Akeem Albrecht, he wrestled before I did.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Akeem actually gave bodybuilders a bad name, if I remember, within the wrestling community, because they were all saying that there's a terminology in wrestling where you're really stiff. So like if you go to like punch someone or clothesline someone, there's a way to do it where it really doesn't hurt that much, and there's a way to really fucking hurt somebody. And
Right.
I guess Akeem was hurting everybody, like proper nailing them, and proper he got a bad rap. So when I came in and I was wrestling all these guys that had wrestled with Akeem, they all assumed I was going to be the same, and sometimes I was, in fairness.
But let me ask you this, Ian. As far as training for that, how many years did you have to train before you actually started in the ring?
Honestly, well, I knew a lot of wrestlers, in England, and they trained at my gym. And when I retired from bodybuilding in '98 after the Arnold Classic, they all pestered me, and they're like, you should wrestle. I'm like, well, I don't know anything about it. But luckily for me, I got into bodybuilding through judo. My father taught judo, so I'd done judo from the age of 6 right through to 13, 14 when I started taking bodybuilding seriously. So I knew how to fall, which is one of the big things in wrestling, knowing how to fall. And then they just taught me the basics, honestly, over about 2 months.
Oh, wow.
I did about a 2-month apprenticeship, and then they brought me straight in because I had a physique and I was big. They brought me straight in. It was funny because in England I used to wrestle as Mr. USA, but I'd never speak. I just looked the part. I would never speak on the microphone, and not until I came to America did I start to speak. And they called me the British Storm, and then I could speak with my regular accent, my English accent.
Wow.
Very interesting business.
Yeah.
The one good thing I liked about wrestling was I knew it was bent and fixed from the get-go. Whereas with bodybuilding, I thought it was legitimate. It's not until I've been doing it for a few years that I realized it was bullshit, and they weren't judging you according to how you looked. They were judging you according to who you knew and who sponsored you. And
Well, let me ask you something, Ian. Do you think steroids were more popular in wrestling than they were bodybuilding, or is it about the same?
I would say it's about the same. Not every wrestler took steroids, but the ones that did it with zero knowledge of what they were doing.
It seems like wrestling would be more open about it than the bodybuilders would be. Like back in the locker rooms and stuff.
Bodybuilding type people in wrestling got a bad reputation. And they almost like, it's hard to verbalize it, but they just got a bad reputation, basically. Remember Kurt Hennig?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kurt Hennig was a great guy, an incredible athlete, big
Mr.
dude.
Perfect.
Mr. Perfect, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He used to come out with the Stetson and rap his crap, and it was brilliant, absolute character. In fact, I was supposed to main event with Kurt Hennig at the Tampa Fairgrounds, and the night before, he overdosed and died. And I walked in the locker room, and everybody was like, with their heads down, like, "Where's Kurt?" And they're like, "He's dead." And in 1 year, I went to 9 funerals. I went to Hawks. I went to Kurt's.
I think didn't Rick Rude die around that time?
Say that again.
Rick Rude, didn't he die around that time?
I didn't know Rick Rude, but I think Rick Rude had died maybe a year earlier or 2 years earlier. But a lot of wrestlers died. Like we've had a purge of bodybuilders dying. A lot of wrestlers were dying. I've been in rooms of bodybuilders and wrestlers where I'm the only person still alive. It's correct. And I didn't nearly make it last year.
Yeah.
After what I went through.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It really is. I mean, the amount of people I've known that have turned out to be mass murderers or major criminals or are just dead. It's like, man, don't come near me, guys. I'm bad news. If you come near me and associate with me, you're probably going to end up dead or arrested within a few months.
Oh, geez.
Jason's like, oh, what have I got myself into?
All right. Next subject. Let's go.
I'll shut up now because I'm taking over this podcast talking about.
All right. So let me put this up before we go. I posted this on my my Instagram and get you guys' opinions on it. I'm sure you guys have seen it.
Wow.
What do y'all think about that?
Is that Big Ramy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ramy and Larry Wheels.
I heard Big Ramy won.
Yeah.
Wow.
As a competitor and as a bodybuilder,
I would never do that.
Yeah.
No.
Well, do you remember the story, but with Victor Martinez, right?
Right.
He was, where was he, in Puerto Rico or Mexico?
Mexico.
He was down there.
What was that? I don't remember that. What was that?
Well, the same situation. Some guy kind of like challenged him to arm wrestle, so he did, and wound up breaking his arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Broke his arm.
but this Ramy thing was not real, especially when you look at the comments. I mean, I don't think Ramy would have any chance against Larry Wheels in arm wrestling, and it was kind of pretty easy how he got him down. So I don't think this was.
You don't think it was real?
Wow.
No.
I mean, first of all, it would be absolutely crazy for Mr. Olympia to do that.
I agree.
I agree with that too.
Larry Wheels is one of the strongest guys there is,
Mhm.
and he was hardly, he was just pushing him down like nothing. It was not even really fighting back much. So I don't think it was real.
Wow. Hard to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, it's hard to. He came out and said it wasn't. He posted something saying that it was just a joke, but
Oh, maybe it was.
I don't know.
Can you imagine you can throw your Mr. Olympia title away there in 2 seconds. So
Yeah.
Imagine his sponsors are probably not happy.
I used to be big.
And I never did that.
I used to be big into arm wrestling as a 18, 19, 20-year-old.
Mhm.
I remember once in Turkey on vacation. It's all I did all week is arm wrestling, and I suffered under the inflammation in my forearm for years, actually. So I went to a lot of different experts to get rid of my inflammation in my forearm.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like maybe that's why my back was so good. I had to be very, very careful when I pull, to really, really focus on my back because my forearms were constantly hurting. So, arm wrestling is just bad news for any serious bodybuilder.
I'll tell you something funny. When I was 15 years old, I entered a competition, the Midwestern Arm Wrestling. And the guy that beat me in the end was a 17-year-old guy. It was 15 and 17-year-old age group. And he got up and when it went, wham! It was over just like that.
Right.
He beat me quicker than I could he just slammed me against it. And I just, whoa, shit. I said, I lost already. But I had won quite up to the point to the finals. And when I was 17, I was a pretty big kid. I had been bodybuilding 2 years. I weighed 194 pounds in high school. So, I mean, I did pretty good until I got to the last round.
Yeah, I've never done.
I watched some bigger tournaments. There was one in Zurich. I don't know if it was a world championship or was. I went to watch it. I was totally, there was also a team from England. I was totally surprised that the guy who won it then was not even big. I mean, there's a lot of technique involved.
Technique.
Yeah, technique.
Yeah.
All
Was he called
technique.
Clive Myers by any chance?
What's that?
The English, you said an English guy won it, JP?
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name. It was like in the 86, 87, around those years.
Was he like a quite lean black guy?
No, he was a white guy, and I remember he beat guys 3 times his size.
Yeah.
So, I was the black guy.
There was a guy called Clive Myers from England who was he was a martial artist, but he was like a world champion arm wrestler too. I'll tell you who was a really incredible arm wrestler. Bill Richardson. Remember Bill Richardson?
Sure. Absolutely. I know Bill real well.
Do you know Bill, Phil? That's
I do.
amazing.
Very well. I got to know him
Wow,
very
that's
well.
cool.
Yeah.
Bill Richardson was a legend in my area. He was from Bradford originally, and I'm from Leeds. Well, a place called Pudsey, right between Leeds and Bradford. But the first guy that helped me out with training was a very close friend of Bill Richardson. So I've got some incredible stories about Bill. He
Yeah,
was
Bill's
like,
a funny guy.
never got to know him. Kind of I follow him on social media now, but yeah, he was strong, man. He was a great arm wrestler.
Yeah.
He used to blow up the water bottles and make them explode. He used to do all the strongman type
Strongman stuff. Yeah, yeah. I
stuff.
competed with Bill in the Chicago Pro. He was in that show with me.
Oh wow, yeah, he didn't compete much in IFBB though, did he?
No, just a few shows. Yeah, only a few.
Now he's got a gym is he in Belgium?
I have no idea.
I think he has a gym in Belgium now, yeah.
Wow, I have no idea.
Interesting. Anyway, I digress again. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're good. That's good.
Speaking of arm wrestlers, have you guys seen the one? There's like a 20-year-old kid. He goes around beating all these. He's a small guy, but he goes around beating all these big guys in arm wrestling because he's just got this killer technique. I think he even arm wrestled Larry Wheels in the past before and beat him like nothing.
Wow.
Isn't there a big arm wrestling thing at the Arnold every year?
I think so.
Yeah, they have a big arm wrestling competition, I think.
I think that's one of the events, maybe.
Yeah. With the strongman and all that.
I tell you else who was a good arm wrestler was you guys know Eddie Robinson, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's not far from me here, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in
a great
Florida.
arm wrestler. I think he's the first teenager to bench 600 pounds, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was phenomenally strong as a junior. Very, very strong.
Very much so.
Hey, is the Arnold Classic fully back, or is it a limited event? You guys know?
The last time I looked, they were selling tickets to the expo, so they haven't announced anything different.
All right, that's good. I finally went through all the competitors today. I even checked on every single Instagram. That'd be interesting. I think there's 3 withdrawals I saw. Nathan Diasha, Jabon, what's his name? Withdrew. There was one more. Yeah.
Brendan Curry's doing it.
Did you see Nathan and Fuad separated? They parted ways. He was with Hostile.
Huh.
All right.
Seems like that's kind of Nathan's how he is. He's been with several different people. He's kind of back and forth with a lot of different sponsors and trainers and coaches.
Yeah.
Nathan's a scouser. He's from Liverpool. He'll be looking for a better deal.
Hey, you can't knock him. Yeah.
While we're on this topic, JP, you're a Nick Walker fan. What's going on with him?
Well, he's focusing on Olympia. Huh?
Yeah, but leaving Matt Jensen and all that. Have you been following all that?
No, I did not know that.
No,
There's a big falling out with them.
No, they're back together. They're not going separate ways.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, Nick. Rumor came out, and Nick. Nick was a man, and he stepped up and said that he made some bad decisions and decided that he's going to work with Matt still and for the year. So,
well, what did you hear, Ryan? I heard that he wanted to do some more shows this year, and he had some bad blood work, and basically Matt told him, no, you need to take the year off to the Olympia, and they kind of got into it about that.
Yeah, basically on that. Yeah, basically what I heard, same story.
It was something in that, and Matt was giving somebody else attention. I don't know who Matt's clients are, but Nick was basically like, you need to focus on me more, and So,
Yeah.
but you did hear that they're back, because the last I heard that they were.
Nick. I mean, Nick came out with a video, kind of talking about it all and saying that yes, this was true, but they talked. They had a meeting because he's with Raw too, so he was going to leave Raw and leave Matt, but they've rekindled. They sat down and talked and rekindled everything. And Nick was a man. He was a man about the situation, owned up to his mistake, and said he was wrong. So, I think all is well now and they're moving forward. So,
yeah, because
I'm happy to hear they're moving forward. This would have been a huge mistake.
yeah, I agree.
because Matt kind of brought him. I mean, didn't Matt move him here and he lived with Matt and Matt got him going with everything?
Yeah, I know he's in Florida now. I mean, and was a sponsored athlete through Raw. And so he did move down with Matt. I don't know the whole story if they live together or not, but
yeah, he's been doing a lot of stuff with Redcon lately. I've been wondering if he was going to move over to them or not.
He was training with what's his name? The boogeyman. What's his name?
Blessing.
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 Last
Yeah.
name, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some videos that they're training together now. He's looking like a friggin' freak.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
both are beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's one with them training together here.
Yeah, Blessing looks like friggin' like huge right now.
Yeah, but there's a lot of posts here lately with them
Yeah.
together.
Didn't they have some heat on social media, these two?
Yeah, they were talking trash, but
Going into
I think those two just recognize what today's world is about, you know,
yeah.
and both have a huge following. So, but Blessing, I was so disappointed when he competed. We'll see what's going to happen there next.
mhm. That was posted.
Yeah, if you pull up if you pull up Nick's YouTube, there's a little brief story with him talking about
okay.
the situation, and he gives his
That picture of Nick in the bathroom, I mean, I hope that's real, but you know, in the midsection is midsection. You cannot just cut it in half suddenly. I mean, it's just not. I know I'm a big fan, but you know,
It was posted yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. So
Would be about 300 pounds
That's what they say.
at 5'6.5". That's what that's my height.
mm,
That's not very tall bodybuilder.
Can you imagine being that, Phil? Can you imagine
Oh
being
my
300?
God. I could roll across the room if I was 300 pounds. Literally.
so I did go through every single competitor's Instagram today. Actually, Rafael Brandeo is also withdrawing from the competition.
is he withdrawn? Or?
Yeah. So Bonac, what I've seen of him, he tries very desperate to convince everybody his legs are great again. There was one picture from a week ago, which he's kind of, let's say, holding on to dear life when it comes to his legs, but I wasn't too convinced, you know. But other than that, he's great.
Yeah.
So,
Who do you guys have winning?
Brandon.
So do I.
He's got to be the forerunner going in.
Yeah, I
Is
agree with that.
this it here, JP?
Correct.
Yeah.
First of all, they're fully pumped there. You can tell, you know, there's not a cut. And
Yeah.
I just hate when they have to do this wide stand because the legs are just not big enough. But other than that, he looked absolutely great as always. Yeah? So he's definitely, I think, going to be in the top 3. Yeah?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it'll be between those two, I believe.
Well, Jean-Pierre, have you seen any of the update pictures of Justin Rodriguez?
I did check on him. Quality was a little bit worrisome, you know, but, you know,
I mean, I've seen some pictures, some update pictures from his coach, AJ Sims. I don't know if you guys are aware of him, but I mean, he from the front double, I mean, that he posted, he looked pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he was very impressive, but we'll see if he's going to have the same quality he used to have in the last show. So yeah, you know, that's far off competition shape. It's just very impressive.
How many weeks out is this?
3.5, 3.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh. That's
Yeah,
Well,
separation isn't that, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
This was 3 hours ago.
wow.
That's pretty
Well,
good.
A is the newer picture. I think B was like last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
He is a little bigger on the left. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
This was 10 hours ago.
And one thing I know about AJ, I worked with AJ too, and you very rarely will you see somebody that AJ works with and is just not conditioned out of their mind come show day.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
But 3
Yeah.
weeks is still enough time. Yeah, that's enough time to come in 100%.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look at these photos.
Absolutely.
But there are some structurally more pleasing guys that are going to be in this show.
Yeah.
I'm very curious with Regan, of course. You know, they are really, I mean, moving to Vegas. You know,
Yeah.
getting with Milos, being much around Milos 24/7, would be interesting. You know, and especially after that few tries they had, you know, post Olympia. You know, I think it was very important that they did a few shows together. So that'd be interesting what's going on there. Kuglo, I watched whatever I could find. I mean, my advice to him would be just pose, and pose again. You know, he clearly was falling apart when they compared him a few times last time.
Yeah.
You know, so he should kind of do what Ramy and Dennis did for the first Olympia, where you posed 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So,
Is Hunter doing Arnold?
No.
No, Hunter's not.
a guy from England, I'm really curious about him, Samson Dauda.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he had a good little run at the end of the year last year.
Yeah,
He's working with Milos as well, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And then the one guy I can't really figure out, or I have not really a feel on him, is Brad Wilkin. You guys maybe know better. I just have no idea, you know, if this is going to be a competitor or if he's going to have a real awakening that day standing next to the best of the world. We'll see.
Well, as far as like him winning the show, that would be a tough feat. But I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I mean, last year, the amount of progress that he made from last year to the year prior was ridiculous, and his conditioning is superb. So I want to see what he's done from last year to this year.
Is he with Matt Jansen?
Yes. Yeah.
Right, then we don't have to worry about conditioning much, I would say.
Which is the amount of progress that he's made over like the past 4 or 5 years is ridiculous. He turned pro as a classic, and went to the 212, and now he went to the Open in just several years. I mean, so it'd be interesting to see. I'm curious. He's probably the one that I'm most curious to see what he's gonna look like, because I think we have a foregone conclusion of basically what everybody else and what they're going to bring, or close to. I mean, because most of these guys, I mean, are pretty consistent with their showings. But I'm really, really interested to see what he brings this year.
Yeah.
Is Max Charles? Is he doing it right?
Yeah, he's consistently improving, but it's probably still not going to be in the first call out. But his legs are getting better and better and better. So
he just posted something here.
Yeah,
and Mohammed Shaban, he's out too, right?
He's out, yes.
Yeah.
Here's Max. This was a couple days ago.
Now Max's upper body is just.
He was with Milos. Who's he with now?
Still with Milos, would I know?
No.
I don't know. I think he left Milos last year. I don't know.
No, he's not with Milos anymore. Because
last year I know they kind of parted ways.
Yeah.
Unless they rekindled it, and I don't know.
Rumor was that he was working with Dennis Wolf.
Wow.
But I haven't confirmed that.
Now, does anybody have any updates on what Cedric is looking like?
He just posted something, I think yesterday. Let me see. What did he put? It's just like an advertisement thing, but
yeah, I saw that. I mean, I don't think there's any surprises coming from him.
No, he hasn't really posted anything significant.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think.
Yeah,
he's had some health issues, right?
Yeah, he's got. We talked about that. He came out and said that the doctor said that his heart was like 10% was working or something like that at one time. That's.
So, did you guys look at the classic? I mean, it's incredible. Top five. There's four of them competing from the Olympia. And then you throw Peter Molnar on top of that. That's going to be a great fight there.
Yeah,
Peter's a great athlete.
What's the Brazilian's name that placed top 5 at the Olympia?
Quiros, Raymond.
Yeah, that's him.
What about the Austrian guy?
That's the German guy, Walensky.
Is that a German or Austrian guy? They're saying that he's going to.
He placed 4th at the Olympia, right?
Mm-hmm.
He might surpass Brion. We'll see.
Yeah, he really impressed me. He did really good in his posing routine too.
Yeah.
Are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
What's his name, JB? What is it?
His name is Urs Kalecinski.
Kolachinsky.
Is Fabian Mayer doing it? Fabian
Um,
Mayer, is he doing the Arnold?
I don't know. I don't have the list in front of me.
Fabian's one of my favourites in that division. Fabian and Peter Molnar and Wesley Vissers, they're my 3 favourites in that class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on with Flex Lewis? Is he getting his invite? And somebody posted earlier that he's got an injury now. I don't know
Right.
what.
Well, I saw the post and it looked like he was in a bed, hospital bed. But
Yeah. Let me
I
see
don't
if
know
I
if
can
that's so.
see if he's posted anything. But apparently he hasn't got his invite yet. But
Hmm.
What do you think of that, guys? Do you think that's right? I don't. I feel that he's with the Olympias that he's won and the quality of his physique. If anybody going to get a special invite, it should be him.
Right. I agree with that. He's won 6 or 7, right?
Yeah.
Olympias.
Yep.
I think he will. They're probably just dramaing it up.
They were
Just-
wanting to give it to him last year, and I think the year before, right? I mean, who's going to receive an invite?
He deserves one.
How tall is he? He's not tall either, huh?
No, I'm not
6.
sure. He's not tall though.
Probably
Yeah.
my height, 5'6".
Yeah. Yeah. He hasn't posted anything about he's staying quiet.
Hmm.
What about Bumstead? That somebody said he's got dealing with some injuries, and I know he a while back he had COVID and he lost a bunch of weight.
Did he?
They say
tear a
I think
hamstring
I
or
heard he
something?
tore a hamstring.
Is that what it was?
I believe so,
Yeah.
and had a hernia.
Mhm. Well, he's had a hernia, but he said he posted about that. He went to the doctor and it said it wasn't anything that needed surgery or anything right now that he had to be concerned about.
Okay.
So
Tearing
hopefully,
a hamstring that's a bad injury.
Yeah, that is a bad injury.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't think he's got anything up here either.
It definitely affects some of his poses if he's got a torn hamstring.
Right. Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
it's the Olympia, right? They don't always care about injuries. Look at towards the back end of Dorian's career, he had a torn tricep, a torn bicep, and a torn quad.
Right.
Still got first in the symmetry room.
Right.
Tears quad.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of Dorian, I just he just keeps posting like a maniac, and I kind of impressed by it. So I looked through his last posting, and he was posting about his injury, the triceps tear before the '97 Olympia.
Yeah.
So I seen 825 comments or something like that, and I'm like, wow, quite amazing. So I walked around through the comments, and the first one, my old friend Flavio Bacciani was commenting, and he's going like crazy after Dorian. You should not have won. It's ridiculous, Like, wow, I did not even know he's. So then I started to notice that there's hundreds and hundreds of comments which just say muscles, muscles, muscles. So the poor guy is not buying comments too. I mean, come on,
Mhm.
It's come on, you're 6-time Mr. Olympia. Don't buy comments and likes, I mean, this is really, really getting a little
Is that
bit.
a thing? People can buy comments for real? Is that a thing?
There's hundreds and hundreds of comments.
Yeah, yeah. You can buy anything.
Right.
Remember,
So, do you think that's what's happening? Do you think he's buying comments to make it look like he's got more people?
I told you guys I had a very, very short stint kind of with this whole fake stuff where I bought 10,000 followers, what really, really backfired on me. And then you could buy comments and, so first of all, the 10,000 followers I got were all thrown out later on. They were totally useless, made up accounts of like young Asian girls with like one posting. So then the comments were so ridiculous, not even really spelled right. And, so right away I dropped that and say, never again, this is so ridiculous. And, where do you want to be as a human being anyway when you start to buy this?
Wow. Well, I get offers all the time to buy likes.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. From thousands to up to 100,000.
Yeah, never go there.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Useless,
Yeah.
So I mean, my idea, of course, was at first more followers, more comments, more business. You know,
Right.
he likes
Yeah.
right away garbage. You know, more followers, useless followers, comments are useless, and you're looking like a joke and you're an idiot. That was more what came out of it. You know, so I was a little bit bummed out to see Dorian doing that. You know, so
Wow. Well,
yeah.
by himself, he must have at least hundreds of thousands of followers, right?
Million?
Probably a million. You know, so
Oh, maybe a million. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He almost asked you.
yeah, so
He's
Dorian's
got 1.3 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Chris Bumstead has 5.8 million. Just to let you know,
5.8.
5.8 million.
Wow. That's incredible.
Pull up Kai Greene. What does Kai Greene have? He's pretty.
He's in the millions.
Yeah, he's a ton.
Yeah, he's in the millions as well. I remember looking at that, seeing that, I'm thinking, oh,
Yeah, he's got 6.8.
wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's a business all in itself, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you bust 1 million followers on Instagram, you're starting to make some money.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I imagine you almost have to.
I always check if the likes and comments kind of match up, you know, and very often they do not. I mean, of course, with the people we mentioned, they do match up, you know, like Bumstead or, you know, but very often, especially with a lot of the girls, you know, when you have then 1.2 million followers and 3,000 likes and, you know, it's just garbage very often, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
all a
crazy.
girl has to do is show her butt crack for the most part, and she'll
Oh
get-
yeah, yeah. Well, you saw that thing I posted
Yes, sir.
about, you know, all
That's
these.
so true.
It is.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna pose in a bikini and see what it does.
Might lose a few
Show your
followers.
butt crack.
You might lose a few followers, man. Be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, I might gain some of the ones that I don't
You
want.
gain more than you'll
Right.
lose. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. It's like I have all men following me for some reason. I don't know what.
Yeah.
So how far are we out from the Arnold? 2 weeks?
3 weeks this weekend.
Yeah,
This
3
weekend's
weeks.
3 weeks. Wow. Getting, yeah, 21 days. Oh, getting there.
Where are you going?
JP, are you going or no?
No.
No.
No, I'm not going. No. I'm still debating on whether I'm gonna go to the Olympia this year or not.
Well, it's like a week before Christmas, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Usually flights are a little cheaper a couple weeks before Christmas.
yeah.
Vegas,
Yeah.
right?
Vegas.
Back in Vegas.
Yes, I will definitely go to the Olympia.
Well, you're close, right? JP, how far away are you from Vegas?
A 4-hour drive, right?
4 hours?
Yeah, and it's a beautiful ride. You know, it's a back road here.
Mhm.
Sure.
Absolutely stunning to drive up there.
Yeah, you go through the Grand Canyon, right? Or no?
Not quite.
Yeah.
You know, so at some point you take a left. The Grand Canyon is right, but
Mhm.
I just went through all those competitors here, and wow, I mean that Arnold's Classic is really great. I'm happy they have the Fitness International back here, and then the bikini lineup is absolutely great. And I see Sydney Gillian, what's her name? The
Yeah.
former Miss Olympia in figure.
Yeah.
She is competing. That's great
Yeah, that's good.
against Natalia Soltero. I think she won last year. So yeah,
Is,
it's gonna be great.
do we know if Arnold's going to stream it for free like he did last year?
Is he really?
I don't think so. That's probably was a COVID thing last year, huh?
Yeah.
That may have been, yeah.
I wouldn't mind trying to do a show, kind of like a live show, or see how it would do. But
Yeah, that would be great.
yeah, I'd have to do a practice run because we haven't done a live show yet.
Well,
Yeah.
right when right when the pre-judging starts.
The prejudging or the finals, whichever one.
Yeah, the pre-judging would be more interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me I'll work on that the next couple weeks and see if we can do that. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
You know, when you were talking about going to the PCA Universe in May, Jason.
Yeah.
Well, they've just lifted all the sanctions, all the mandates in England, so you don't have to.
A lot of countries are doing that except us.
Yeah, completely lifted everything. So all you got to do is have a test. You don't have to be vaccinated. You don't have to do a quarantine. You don't have to do any of that. Just
Okay.
make sure you've got a clean test and you're good.
Okay.
So
good.
yeah, Switzerland is doing that too, but they're still dragging their feet on the vaccination for restaurants. So yeah, if once they lift that, I go back because I have real trouble with. Although I am vaccinated, I have real trouble with my pass, my vaccination card in Switzerland.
Yeah.
You know,
You said you had some issues in Italy too when you went to.
Oh, Italy was an absolute horror. You know, I mean, Italy they're so scared because that's where it all started, in Italy. So I think that's where the Chinese let the people fly out to Italy. They have a lot of sweatshops with Chinese workers in northern Italy, and that's when they opened flights to Italy. They were affected first, and you know.
They got hit hard, didn't they, at the beginning?
Yeah, I remember that.
Really hard. Yeah.
You remember in the train to Florence, there was like a Nazi running up and down the train screaming at people, you know. So but the mask being underneath the nose, and I can't deal with that, you know. It's just
No, one thing I've noticed, a lot of people that have got vaccinated here in this country are having problems when they go to other countries because it's not the same vaccine passport or whatever.
Well, you know, I had the digital pass and the CDC card. So I was told, well, if the digital pass doesn't work, just show your CDC card. So at other restaurants in Switzerland or Italy, they had that machine there where you have to scan in. And my code didn't work in any of those scanners. So then when you showed your CDC card, some people say, fine, another problem, and others say, well, we don't know what this is, you know, because our CDC card looks like something you just print yourself. Right. And then the arguments started, and, you know, sometimes thanks to my friends, I got in, sometimes not, but I got tired of it, you know. Then I decided to just get tested every 2 days. But the lines in the testing centers were so long, it was freaking ridiculous. So I won't do it anymore, you know, I won't do it anymore. But thank God, hopefully England went ahead, and Norway, I think the northern countries, and hopefully Switzerland, Italy are, you know, not far behind. Okay? And here with us, I don't know, I think the State of the Union will probably be some kind of where he announces his big victory over COVID.
There's a couple states now that you're not fully vaccinated unless you have the booster. They're requiring the booster now.
Really?
Yeah. So
California.
Yeah, so some cities here you have to have the booster to get into the restaurant. Others are fine. You know, so
yeah, that's a touchy subject. We have to be careful. Joe Rogan got booted for it. We'll get pulled off the air if we talk about it too much.
Crazy, isn't it?
Anyway, did you see change the subject? Did you see Arnold is teaming up with BMW now? You see the latest commercial? He did a Starbucks, I think it's a Starbucks commercial.
Really?
And now I'm just looking here now. I guess they're doing a Super Bowl ad with him. I'll show you guys real quick. It doesn't show the commercial, but you guys can read it. He plays Zeus.
Okay.
Right, I've seen that picture.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's surprising. You won't think in this day and age with everything changing in social media that he would be relevant enough. You know what I mean? I mean, he's from a different era than, I mean, he's even before my time, and I'm old.
Yeah.
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 I check on his Instagram page once in a while, and he's doing those kind of little comedy gigs, and they're really, really funny stuff, actually.
Right.
So he plays this Austrian used car salesman, and there was this guy, Chinese family or Asian family, went to buy a car. So the guy said, well, I would like to have like an electric car, you know, for a tax credit and thing. And the guy's like, you have to buy a Hummer. You know, you don't need tax credit, you need street credit. Really funny stuff. So yeah, the guy is incredible. He's reinventing himself.
Yeah. Did you guys see I posted that movie Reacher? Did you guys watch that yet? Any of y'all?
Not yet.
Yeah, the guy that's in that, it's pretty stout guy, and I kind of made a comment about it's nice to start seeing some big guys in movies now, other than
Oh, yes. I
other
did
than
see
The
that.
Rock. I mean, it's all been, CrossFit guys or whatever. But,
Or inflated suits.
yeah.
Call it the suits they wear, the superheroes
Yeah. Let
we're
me-
all wearing now.
Where's a picture of it? I put here.
Yeah, I was hoping to go to the Super Bowl. You know, my
Wow.
father-in-law has season tickets.
Yeah, that's it. You guys got to watch that. It's an awesome show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'll
right
check
there,
that out.
right there in LA, right? The Super Bowl.
Yeah, so
Sure.
we have season tickets, my family,
Mm,
but we have bad tickets. Of the bleachers. We're in section 5.
mm.
So normally all the season ticket holders, especially when you renew, are in a lottery. And it was told to us, if we renew for next year, we have a 60% chance. So we didn't make it to the lottery because our season tickets are not expensive enough. That's the first time they do that. Normally, every season ticket holder was in the lottery. So my father-in-law is furious. He keeps calling around, but said, well, our season tickets are not good enough to make it to the lottery. So I was hoping. I was just checking on the tickets. Our seats are still going for $6,000 today.
Wow.
And it's
Oh,
one of
wow.
the worst seats in the stadium.
Yeah. I heard the lowest price tickets they announced on the news was 8,500 around that point.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It went down a little bit the last couple of days, but yes, I mean, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
That's
Normally, when you have season tickets, you get to buy a ticket for about $500 to $600. But I think they made a decision that they're not going to give a lot of tickets to season ticket holders since they're selling the tickets for so much money.
Yeah. Tell you, I used to live 5 miles from SoFi Stadium in LA. I sold my house there last year, which I'm glad I did. I can't imagine if you've got the LA Rams and the Chargers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine on game day, the 105, the freeway we used to use, I used to take that to Gold's Gym every morning. That crowd, the 405 and the 105 that go north, that's the east, west, north, and south. I can't imagine getting on the highway, having to drive around during that time period.
I went to the game 2 weeks ago and I got out pretty quickly, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got out pretty quickly. So we couldn't even buy a parking. They wanted $500 for a parking pass.
That's crazy. Yes.
So we decided to go to the civic center and take a bus.
Right.
Right.
Wow.
So yeah, we got out pretty easily. I was surprised that the game was sold out.
Yeah. Wow. That's surprising. That's really surprising.
$100. Wow.
You think that would take a whole day to go to a game? It would take a whole day. You'd have to leave early in the morning. By the time you get out and got home, it'd be late at night.
That's a long day.
Yeah.
Last time we had the parking at the stadium, and that was a mistake. It took us an hour to get out of the parking lot.
Sure.
So taking the bus to the civic center is a way better idea than parking next to the stadium.
I worked a Super Bowl a few years ago when it was in Tampa, and I got there about 5 a.m. and it was about a 16-hour day.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it was a long day.
I can believe that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In Tampa last year.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, but that was a couple of years before that. It wasn't last year
Right.
when I went. So it used to go between like Tampa, Miami, and California. I remember it used to bounce around.
That stadium in LA is something else.
It looks nice.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
there's
nice.
not a bad seat in that stadium. It's so steep the way they built that. I mean, even
Yeah.
up this is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
How many people does that hold?
70,000.
70,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to AT&T Stadium a couple of years ago. I went and saw a Cowboys game. That stadium is amazing.
Monstrous.
Yeah. Because I also been to the new stadium in Vegas, which is quite. It's not quite as impressive as the LA stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Although it was also 3 times cheaper to build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you follow them or not, Jay. Do you think that they would have went further if John Gruden would have stayed?
They lost in. Where did they lose?
At the divisional.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost in the divisional. I don't know. I think they might have went further. That's
I
my.
think they're pretty happy to be in the playoffs too.
Yeah, they started the season off really well too.
Yeah. Be interesting to see. I know there's a lot of coach changes and stuff going on right now. So Miami's coach got a big lawsuit now. Again, because they fired him, but I'm not going to get into that. Crazy.
You guys are watching Winter Olympics, huh?
I've watched here and there. I watched some of this. What was it? What's it called? The slalom, where they're laying backwards on it. I watched that the other night.
Just looking at the ratings, I might be the only one watching it.
Yeah.
I watched some of the speed skating this past weekend.
I love speed skating.
Yeah.
Yep.
Switzerland's got a lot of competitors, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we're not great, but we have good skiers, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should have good skiers.
They should. It's it's like the pastime over there, huh?
it's not a lot of money going into sports in Switzerland. Even the skiers, mostly, that's all. They're coming from good families, and it's not like in Austria where you go to a ski gymnasium when you're 5 years old.
Yeah. I like the curling for some reason. I don't know why.
It's a lot of stress.
You like that, Bill?
I absolutely
I love how they rub that stick and the guy's like screaming at him like it's a contact sport. Especially the Asian guys, man. They're all like, that's funny.
Like bowling on ice, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely takes some strategy. Somebody sent me a message and they sent me a video of Mike O'Hearn. I know it's kind of changing the subject, and I think we've talked about him before. Him repping out 4 plates like it's nothing.
He's always been strong, though, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, I used to see him in the mornings at Gold's in Venice at 4 a.m. He trains very, very heavy.
How old is he?
Mike's about 54, in that 54, 55 age range.
Yeah. I know this gets brought up a lot, but I mean, do you think he's natural? Yeah, it's one of those.
I mean, if I were to say, I would say I don't think so, but
If he needs to bottle his DNA and sell it.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes, I mean he's strong. He looks good. I don't know. I mean, it's not for me to say.
Well, I used to see him with his shirt off all the time, and I've been in this sport for 45 years. So, I mean, you can kind of tell who's natural and who's not.
Well, what is exactly natural? That's
Well,
always.
that's there you go.
Can you balance your lower testosterone levels? Can you take GH because you don't have much output when you get older? What exactly can you take peptides? I mean, what is that?
What is natural? That's a good question.
Yeah, like if everything he does is under care of a doctor, is he natural?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the. But when you look at François, natural means not drinking coffee.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So,
true.
I don't think that's a case like that, but it would be interesting. Did he? He said you said he texted you.
Me?
Yeah.
No. I didn't text. I said somebody sent me that video and put a comment about wondering if he was natural or not.
He asked me if I want to do some kind of Q&A with him on his Instagram, but a year ago during COVID, I did a lot of those Q&As. Maybe I should invite him to the show.
We follow each other. He likes my posts and stuff like that, and I've asked him to come on because I had Mike Ashley on, and he's a big fan of Mike Ashley's, and but I never got a response back from him.
He's doing movies again.
Is he?
Yeah.
I've seen him in one film.
Yeah, he played some kind of zombie or something in some last movie, right?
Well, he had a tough guy role in this one. He was more of a hood.
Yeah, he did a zombie movie too.
Yeah. But he's done a number of films.
Yeah.
He's been involved in a number of films anyway.
Yeah. He's got 2 million followers. So I mean
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very popular.
Yeah, I found he had a supplement line now, right?
Yeah. Does he coach too? Does he coach bodybuilders?
Yeah, he does.
He trains people, yes.
Yeah, I thought
I've seen him
so.
train a number of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
doing some coaching with one of my clients about a year or so back.
Yeah.
Yeah, his supplement line made it to Walmart.
Mr. America or something. I think it's like just a show, an independent show to any federation. It's called Mr. America.
Mm-hmm. You know who I'd like to get on here is Charles Glass. Does he do many interviews?
No idea.
No idea. I used to see Charles every morning at 4 a.m. as well.
Yeah.
And we talk here and there. We were talking about Sean Roden at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But he's busy. I guess he's there all day.
He's got his own YouTube channel. He posts a lot of YouTube training videos.
Is he still training people at Gold's?
Yes, yes, sir.
So he's still going, huh?
Still going. He's been going for, I'm going to say 4 decades plus, almost.
Wow.
I remember he started personal training in the 80s, early 80s, before the term personal trainer exists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Training people.
A lot of people don't remember him when he competed. He had a hell of a physique.
Yeah.
He was a great bodybuilder, man.
He's a pro, right?
Yes, yes, sir. I competed against him in Chicago as well.
Okay.
I think that was his last show. But he won the 83 nationals in the middleweight and won the world championships the year
Charles,
Paul
an
Harris won the
ex-gymnast.
overall.
He's an ex-gymnast, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
He used to do a backflip as part of his routine, posing routine.
Yeah, I've always liked watching Charles. I'd love to pick his brain. So maybe one day.
He was one of the hardest working personal trainers I ever saw at Gold's. I mean, he'd be there all day
long.
All day. I mean, I don't know how he did it. It would burn. It would just frazzle my mind.
Yeah, he still does it.
Yeah.
The stories he probably has about, that place and all the people that he's trained.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Crazy.
Tons of stories.
Speaking of stories about that place, I think Ed is releasing his book in March. Ed Connors.
Ed Connors, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That I will definitely read that. He is talking about the 500 guests he had in his house. All from the bodybuilding.
Right, over the years.
Yeah.
You guys remember Gunnar Rospo?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Gunnar Rospo.
Yeah, I met Gunnar when he stayed with Ed, and Gunnar and I became good friends. We still go back and forth a little bit on Instagram.
Mr. Forearm.
Yes. Oh, him and Casey Viator did the forearm thing where they were comparing forearms at Gold's Gym in Venice one day, and I was at the photo shoot. I was watching it. They both had tremendous forearms. I think Rospo had larger forearms, and of course he's taller and bigger guy, but larger forearms than Casey.
Whatever happened after he lost against Haney? Did he ever come back and try again?
He retired.
Right after, huh?
That was it. That was it. He got nerve damage. He had an accident. He fell on some ice, and I think he knocked himself out, or he was knocked out. And then he woke up. I took him to the hospital, and after that, he had nerve damage. So his left side atrophied, and he never could. I think he never got the size back on his left side.
JP, have you heard from Samir lately? Talk to him?
Not since we met, no.
Yeah. He hasn't posted much either. What he's up to.
But he's doing online personal training, probably a good amount of it, and he's with Old School Labs. He's still under contract with them. He's pushing or sponsored by them.
He's working on some supplements he wants to release.
Yeah, you said he was working with maybe Gaspari or something like that.
Oh. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Cool. Before we go, Ian, what do we got coming up PCA wise?
We have a posing seminar in Kentucky, in Paducah, Kentucky, on the 19th.
I like how you say Kentucky.
In Maryland, on the 26th and 27th, we have 2 posing seminars in Maryland, and then I need to get out of Gold's up by you, Jason.
Yeah,
try and get that one sorted out. I don't know why that woman hasn't called me back, but we'll probably do maybe 2 or 3 more posing seminars around Florida before season starts. Then once season starts,
Mhm.
we got the first show in Tampa on the 24th of April,
Okay.
and then we're going out to England for the
Wow.
PCA Universe in England. That's May 15th. And then PCA in England are actually doing their own expo this year, a great big expo.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
Going from strength to strength. We've got
Hmm.
a lot of different. We've got Thailand on board now. I think I told you that the other day.
When is the England start? When is it in England? I'm in England early July.
3rd of July.
Early July, the first week July. I'm in England. When is the universe there?
The universe is May 15th. Yeah, so it's earlier than that. But I mean, if you want to go and see PCA show when you're out there, I can definitely arrange it, JP.
Do you have one here? Yeah.
Oh, we have. Yeah, the closest one to you is in Roswell, New Mexico. We don't have anything going on in California yet. So if you know anybody who's interested in promoting a PCA show in California, let me know.
Yeah.
But I don't have anybody out there right now that I'm kind of talking to about that.
When is Roswell?
Possibly one in Vegas coming up next
When
year.
is Roswell?
Excuse me?
When is New Mexico?
New Mexico is June 25th.
Hmm.
June 25th in Roswell, New Mexico.
Is that the Alien Classic or what's that one called?
Yeah, Interstellar Classic. Well, in Roswell, they're like the
Conspiracy Classic or something.
yeah, in that like Area 42 or something. Or I don't know. Area
51.
or something. 51 is it? I don't know.
Yeah, 51.
But yeah, all the aliens are supposed to be out there, so that's maybe I'll see one when I'm out there.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
JP makes it there, he can be the alien. We'll paint you green before you get out there, JP.
All right. Hear about it.
yeah.
It
The
would
only problem with
Say
May,
Say that again.
guy JP.
It would be a nice trip to, there's a beautiful ride there. It's just that's like 1 or 2 days before I fly to London.
Yeah, I'll be on prep. That's the only problem with May too, is I'll be on prep. So I'll have to see.
Well, hopefully next year we'll have a Texas show, we'll have a Vegas show, and who knows? I might, if you guys know anybody in California, I might end up bringing it. Actually, I do have a possible California show, but they couldn't get it done this year because of all the COVID restrictions are still over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the theaters don't want to know, so unfortunately, it makes it quite difficult. But now we've got a lot of interest this year. I'd say it's probably the most interest we've ever had, and because we're still quite a new federation to this country. But the way we do things, well, you've seen how we do things, Jason. It's different, isn't it?
Mhm.
We do it a little bit different.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's a quicker day for athletes. It's not as drawn out. And even though some people like to dress up and go to a night show, I think for the athletes, it's all about the athletes for us. For me, anyway. I mean, that's why I was attracted to the PCA. Because it's all about making it healthier and just more concise for the athlete.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it, and I think it's a great option for athletes to, like I always said, I think athletes should be able to compete in whatever federation they want to compete in. While they're in condition, get on stage, man. I mean, one of my regrets is when I used to diet down for one show, I should have done more than one show. I should have done several shows while I was in condition. And I should have done more photo shoots, but you always think you want to wait till the next show because you'll look better.
There you go.
You should document it. I mean, like when you asked me the other day, Jason, for a video of me training, I don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't have any videos of me training.
I found that one.
Training that we did that silly one you found on YouTube. That was from a training video I made when I was a junior. I was like 20-year-old when they were done.
I gotta redo that video because for some reason it's somebody's got a copyright on it, and
somebody's got a copyright on what?
On one of those videos.
Really?
Yeah, because it flags it when I post it on YouTube that there's a copyright.
Not the one of
I'm not making any money off of it, but eventually, if I was to make money off of it, somebody got entitled. Somebody's monetized on it. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just gotta.
Yeah.
if you guys have like some personal ones that haven't been on YouTube or been through like some kind of company, it would probably help.
I think the best ones of me are probably from like guest spots. That one I sent you.
Mhm.
That's probably the best one of me because I
Yeah.
believe that's just somebody's camcorder back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's not a big deal because I mean, I'm not making any money, so we'll see.
All right, guys. Well,
Yeah.
great talking to you as usual.
So I before we go, guys, I want to show you my stage shot from last year. So this hopefully next year this will be me. So Ian sent that to me. So I think I
you're a
should.
lot bigger than those two.
I think I should have been over on this side of Ian, but you know we argue about that. So it's like I only done that. So I get bored sometimes.
Phil and JP, did you see that one he just did on Instagram?
Which one?
The one where all our faces are on all the other, like Jason's always Mr. America. I noticed that. Always Mr. America is Jason. I think he's Mr. America fan.
When I made the one of you and Shiraz on the bicycle, I about died.
Yeah,
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, that was
that's
funny.
hilarious.
That
I've
was
seen
good.
that one, man.
Oh, I couldn't stop laughing. I almost pissed my pants when I made that.
But you know, the silly thing is, every time I see one of those things, I can literally visualize you and Ryan laughing your ass off.
Oh yeah.
Every time I see one, I can just completely hear you laughing.
Oh, God.
Way too much time on your hands, Jason. Way too
Yeah,
much.
I know. I have a sick mind sometimes.
The only video I did see, Ian, it was something you at the English Grand Prix.
Oh yeah, from who was I on there with?
Milos, I believe.
Right, yeah.
Cormier, was
Yeah.
it Cormier too?
That was my pro debut, I believe, that one. Yeah, I got a little bit that's why I want to get Wayne on the show, Wayne D'Amelia, because that was an interesting call, was that one.
And the guest posing for 5.
Yeah, even Milos later on at the FIBO the following year said that I should have beaten him at that show. But hey, that's bodybuilding for you, right? Well,
It is.
it couldn't be, but it is.
Yeah.
But I like that guest posing from '95 you posted.
Oh yeah, that was like 4 weeks out from the Olympia. That's, you know, that's one mistake I made, JP. I used to over diet, and I'd come to the shows flat, and because I'm quite a tall guy, if I was flat, I looked fat. Do you know what I mean? When I was fuller, I had better conditioning. So, but one of my regrets for my pro career is that I should have come in fuller, bigger and fuller. I think it complemented my physique a lot better. Like you always came in full. You always, from what I saw, you always came in looking full and, you know.
Yeah, you know, it's like I always say, I was a great bodybuilder with a horrible competitor, you know.
That's one way of putting it.
Hit and miss thing, you know, I just too big, too small, too big, too flat, you know, but it was never really like the couple of shows I looked good was purely by accident.
Dude, JP, some of those videos you sent me were pretty intense though. There was one where they were following you backstage, basically a back shot of you walking out on stage. That was,
yeah,
I'll have to post that. So definitely nice some mass, that's for sure.
Oh, you were a freak without a doubt, JP. Absolute freak in the best possible sense.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
How do you think you'd favor today with these guys?
Well, give me Matt Jansen and I win shows today, you know?
Yeah.
Or give me some kind of knowledge, you know? I mean, there's just, I crush most of those guys, you know? I mean, not gonna say I beat Ramy from 220 or anything, or 221 or anything like that, or you know, but all the smaller shows, I win every single one, but I not the way I look. There has to be somebody who guides me to the last 2 or 3 weeks, you know? I mean, this is, I mean, when you look at my back poses and my real double biceps pose and the triceps thing and somebody kind of telling me to keep the stomach in, and I win every smaller show, guaranteed. You know, at the Olympia, I don't know. It's hard to say, but can't go back. Yeah.
No.
Well, can't do that.
All right. Well, I'm hungry, guys. How about you all?
Me too.
Get something to eat.
Appetite's coming back.
Yeah, good, man. It's good to see you
Yeah.
back, Phil.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Always
All
a
right.
pleasure, gents.
All right, gentlemen. Till next week.
All right, guys.
Big.
All right. All right.
Everybody have a good week.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.